There are so many things no one told me before moving to Germany. It's not just the language or the cold weather, but some real stuff. Like you call a doctor to get an appointment, and the answer is that the next available appointment is in September, and it's April right now. I mean, by that time, I would either be fine or I would not need a doctor but a priest. And it does not stop here. You have to change your car's tires twice a year, even if your city has not seen snow since ages. And getting a driver's license could cost you your month's salary. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk about the things in Germany that are so different than I expected. I had made a similar video a few months ago and I got a great response on that, and I thought I missed out on some experiences that were new to me when I moved to Germany. Good, bad, or some things you live with. Trying to get a doctor's appointment in Germany could sometimes feel like winning a lottery. Really. Except instead of the prize money, you are getting some 15-minute appointment time with the doctor. If you are not registered with the family doctor or Hausarzt, good luck. Now you're sick and you need some help from the doctor and you're not registered with the Hausarzt, and you call a doctor nearby, and you call and the receptionist gives you the classic reply, sorry, we don't have any slots this month. You send an email and we will let you know. And you wait and wait and wait. To me, it was so shocking because back in India, I can of course book appointment, but if I have not booked an appointment, I could just go to a clinic and maybe I have to wait. If I don't have an appointment, maybe I have to wait for an hour, but I will get to see the doctor the same day. But here in Germany, if you're registered with a doctor already, you might still get appointment within the same week. But if it is your first time with a doctor, it is a bit like Tinder. Sometimes they swipe left and do not accept any new patients, and if you're lucky, they might swipe right, but you might get an appointment in weeks or maybe months. And if you need a specialist like dermatologist, ENT specialist, well, let's just say that your patients will be tested even more, and the waiting game could easily last for months. I've started thinking of being patient is a new superpower in Germany. On the brighter side, once you're registered with your Hausarzt, your family doctor, or your gynecologist for women, and the dentist, the healthcare system in Germany really pushes you for the regular checkups. They want you coming for the regular checkups even when you're feeling completely healthy. Preventive care is not a fancy word, but it is a lifestyle, and I had no idea about it initially, like many other expats. Because back home, we usually go to doctor if something is hurting or bothering you, but here in Germany, it is a yearly ritual to visit your Hausarzt, gynecologist, or your dentist. For example, I visit my Hausarzt, the family doctor, for a routine checkup where they usually do a full blood test. They check your cholesterol, your sugar levels, deficiencies, kidney and liver functions, basically a good full health report card. It's a little uncomfortable prick for a lot of peace in mind. And yes, not only my Hausarzt, I also visit my gynecologist every year for my regular checkup. They do a full checkup including pap smear test, and ladies, this is a cervical cancer screening and really important, especially after you turn 30. Apart from pap smear test, the gynecologist also do lump screening, which is basically a breast examination to catch anything unusual early on. Honestly, it took me a while to get used to this mindset of prevention instead of cure. As an expat, this is also so much information that you do not know about. So if you're watching this and you're living in Germany and you do not know about this regular routine checkup thing, this is a reminder to call your doctor and book an appointment soon. And of course, you will have to wait for the appointment. Need to set up a Wi-Fi in a new apartment or repair the heater before the cold hits you, be ready to wait and wait for weeks or sometimes months. And that's what just blew my mind. A few years ago, we moved to this new apartment in Düsseldorf and we needed a Wi-Fi so badly on time because my husband and I, we do work from home a lot of the times and we desperately needed the internet at home. And the earliest technician appointment was in a month. In India, if I call one service provider and there's so much competition between the different service providers that they will be standing on my door in 1 hour to set up my Wi-Fi. Even going to a hairdresser, if you want a haircut, if you want to go to a party and you think, okay, maybe I need some touch up with my hair and let me go to a salon and get my hair done. No, it's It cannot be done like that. You need appointment for everything. So it's not that in India I did not used to book appointment for my hairdresser. Of course we used to, but it's not like that if you don't have an appointment, you will not see anybody. But the chances in Germany that you do not see anybody if you don't have an appointment are really, really high. Or I think it's not even possible. So planning ahead is not optional, it's a survival skill in Germany. But here is a positive side. Once you get to the appointment and finally the day comes, the service is usually really professional and really thorough. And honestly, it has helped me to slow down a little bit, plan better, and dare I say, embrace a bit more patience. When I made the last video, some of you have reminded me that you did not talk about Autobahn, because every expat who comes to Germany, this is something that is really unbelievable and something that we have never seen before. So let's fix that now. Finally dive into legendary German Autobahn, famous German highway with stretches having no speed limit. If you are adventurous, it would sound like a dream, like finally getting to live those fast and furious fantasy life. But honestly, for me, personally, I am not a speed demon. And when I'm sitting next to somebody and they suddenly hit the throttle and want to rocket off, I'm the one clutching on the seat like, please slow down, I want to live. So yeah, for me, it's less fast and furious and more hold on to your coffee cup and pray to God for your long life. Now, sticking with the whole car and driving theme, one rule that really stands out in Germany is changing your car tires twice a year. Every year, like a clockwork, you have to switch to your winter tires in October and keep them on until Easter and swap back to your summer tires for the warmer months. Even if you live in a city that has not seen snow since dinosaurs. A rule is rule, no debates, no excuses. Drive with your summer tires in winter and you will be fined. Imagine getting a ticket because you forgot changing your tire on time. Now here comes the fun or stressful part. The garages get super crowded in the month of October and April because everyone is trying to get the tire changed on time. So booking early is not optional, it's required. If you do not want to keep your car parked in the parking lot until you change your tire. And on top of the time, there's also the cost. The tire change will cost around 50 euros. But if you have 4 extra wheels that is already mounted on alloys, which by the way is really uncommon because of the high upfront cost, then the change might cost you around 10 euros. Which is again very unlikely. Now the question is, can you change the tires at home? Technically yes, but there are a few challenges. Number one, not everybody has a garage or a space to change the tires because you cannot do it on street. Number two, changing tires, especially with the alloys, it's a task that needs professional help. And it is really difficult to do at home. Now, one more interesting fact that some of you may not know, to keep all these spare tires, you need some space. And usually, people have some storage space in their cellar. But in case you don't have that space, the service centers also provide the rental spaces for tires. If you want to avoid that, you can also go for all-weather tires, which are designed to work year-round, just like the name suggests, but they generally don't perform as well as the seasonal tires and may also wear out faster. You have to pick your battle based on what is more practical to you. In many countries, changing tires with the seasons is unheard of. So you keep driving until something wears out or gets many punctures. But here in Germany, this tire changing ritual is really unique and part of a driving culture. Now, since we're talking about autobahns in cars, it's also a good time to mention the driving license. Because trust me, getting a driver license in Germany is no joke. An expat who is coming here in their 30s, getting through that process of having a license, they will vouch on that. I still remember when I heard about the cost the first time, my jaw dropped to the floor. You're looking anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 euros, and this could be more than the monthly salary for many people. And you have to pass this theory test and a really rigorous practical test. And again, on the brighter side, once you finally get your driving license, you don't feel nervous like a beginner driver. Since you have practiced all the possible real-time driving scenarios in your training sessions, you already feel really confident. The most important, you survive the practical test, maybe on your 3rd or 4th try, but Hey, who's counting? We've all been there. Now, the most interesting topic. In many countries, public transport is associated with students or somebody who does not own a car. And in some cases, it is also seen as a sign of lower social status. But in Germany, it is quite the opposite. Public transport is highly valued and widely used by people from all walks of life. Whether it's trams, buses, S-Bahns, public transport is everyday choice for professional, parents, students, and senior citizens. You will often see people who own these high-end cars like BMW, Audi, and they will be choosing public transport instead. It's practical and more efficient option. And one of the reasons is this extensive and really well-connected network of public transport that reaches almost every corner of the country and makes it really convenient. While it's not always perfectly on time, it is still reliable, especially when you're traveling within the city. What truly stood out to me was how inclusive and family-friendly the transport in Germany is. Most of the public transport, buses, trams, trains, they have a designated areas for strollers and wheelchairs. So the parents don't have to go through the panic of folding the strollers and also taking care of a crying toddler at the same time. There are also priority seats and accessible ramps for those with disabilities and senior citizens. And it makes the system a welcome everyone. Personally, we own a car, but every time I have to visit the city center, I always use public transport. Coming from India, where rickshaws, taxis, private vehicles dominates the road, this was a refreshing change. Public transport in Germany might not be perfect, but it's definitely more eco-friendly, budget-friendly, and a calm alternative to the traffic chaos we were used to. So yeah, Germany has shown me, or rather taught me, a whole new way of doing everyday things. Some of it I love, and some of it still confuses me, but honestly, I'm getting more used to it. If you have moved to Germany or anywhere abroad, let me know in the comment section what's something that's totally normal there, but it shocked you at first. Thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed it. See you next time. Cheers!